Brown, going by Erica Up for the channel. And I am here on this lovely Tuesday, reminding reminding you all that it is very important to start implementing certain things into your life in order to build a better financial future, all while remaining present. So, with that being said, I need you all to listen closely, and I'm gonna run us over some key foundation steps, things that you can put in place in order to help you out when you need it the most. First and foremost, I am not your financial advisor. Anything that I share with you all is strictly for educational purposes only. So, with that being said, number one, always start with a basic emergency fund of $8,000. Once you have that emergency fund of $1,000, you then want to start lowering and minimizing your debts, meaning you line the smallest one and the largest, line them up in order from smallest to largest. That's a simple way to put it. That's a better way to put it. The first one, you knock it out with the vengeance. Treat it like a deck of cards. You treat all debt like a deck of cards. So after you do the first one, do the second one. Rinse, wash, and repeat. After that, you do the third, so on and so forth. Nobody's financial situation would never be the same. Always keep it in mind. It is not based up on nobody else's life but yours. So you have to set yourself up. You have to make better financial choices and decisions. Always do your own due diligence of research before jumping into anything financially. I love to implement that in my videos. So when everybody come on in. This will be available for replay. I'm just getting off of work, so I have to make this really quick. I got another job to go to. So, building brick by brick, I always remember to take a deep breath, you know, pray, anything that you can do to help you keep going. It helps with the momentum and drive of things, in order to keep moving forward. That is the ultimate goal, is to keep moving forward, you know. And life is a journey. So once we have that emergency fund of $1,000 in place, and if you can't start with $1,000, start with anything 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, so on and so forth. Even $50 will help you out. You never know what you need. You may need car repairs. So that's why it's good. That's why it is always good to implement a emergency fund. You have to have an emergency fund. That is your basic solid foundation. Learning to build brick by brick. So that emergency fund, we lowering and paying off debts. Remember, so it may take others, some time. It's not a race. You just want to get rid of it. Debt is considered to be anything that's not going up in value. So if it's not going up in value, pay it off. Pay it off. That is the ultimate goal, is to pay it off. Be wise with your spending. We're going to do all of these things before we even think about investing. Me personally, I love to keep a balance because it is based upon my financial situation. Meaning that when I learned about investing, there's no need to wait till I am completely debt free. It's a reason, but at the same time, I know what I have to do. So when I learned about investing, I didn't want to delay on investing, meaning that I don't have to put all of my eggs in one basket. Which brings me to this key step and foundation. Putting all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to investing, you can have that plan and strategy in place far as investing, meaning that diversification is the way to go. But only you know what you can put in. So why I didn't want to personally wait on investing, because I've learned that waiting on investing delays time into the market. You never want to delay time in the market. And we are always wanting to do things when we're ready. But I'm gonna tell you something, you will never be ready. Just go ahead and start. So if you can invest $5 a day, you can invest what, $20, $25 a week. You can invest $50 every 2 weeks. You can invest $100 every month. No matter how you are investing, it is very important to learn about investing. Because once you learn about investing, you be like, oh, okay. It's the same called compound interest out here. Once you learn about compound interest and things like that, like I said, important information, excuse me, research is very important when it comes to learning about investing. When you learn about investing, you are then able to discover which type of investment vehicle that you would like to choose, which is day trading. Some people do REITs, that's real estate investing. Some people like to do cryptocurrency. Some people like to do Bitcoin. It is a lot of ways to invest. So once you determine your investing vehicle, you then want to look over and go over some platforms that you choose to put your money into. So, they have what Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Moo, Webull, Acorns, Vanguard. It's so many. They even got it. What I think some people, it's on Cash App. Like every app that you open, it's gonna be something about investing. So, whichever platform that you decide and choose, make sure that you are comfortable with that choice and decision. You can always learn about it, you know. But the basic fundamentals, knowledge, and understanding about investing is very essential. So, once we have these things in place, it's going to always lead to that rinse, wash, and repeat cycle. Yes, investing is boring. But once you start building and building and building, after so long, you're going to be like, man, I'm so glad I did this. Because I can always have something to fall back on in case of a hard time. But always remember that that emergency fund is in place just for any pop-ups. But once you have things in place and you have these accounts open, you also need a high yield savings account. Once you got that emergency fund, that high yield savings account, do your own research on these things because there are many out here. Once you have that, hey, welcome to the YouTube. Once you have these things in place, you are then able to move strategically, meaning you're not going to be making impulse decisions and shopping and spending and things like that. It is 2025, you all, and we are so close to the new year. So by the time the new year come in, we want to have certain accounts in place, all while building. So after you have your things set up in place and you start to lower and minimize your debts, you are then able to keep adding to that investment portfolio. Choose your portfolio, meaning your platform. So once you have these things, you always want to keep doing research. Learn to not, well, we know not to spend more than we make. These things help. I'm telling you, it helps. So whatever you are interested in, it has your interest, right? You know what you are looking to do in order to grow, in order to build, in order to help you out. You know, always keep in mind that time is your most valuable resource. Resource. Watch how you spend your time. Don't allow anyone to waste your time. So, once we are doing these things, we know that we have to find a way to keep going. So, it is always good to treat yourself after reaching a certain milestone. That way, you can get back to the task at hand. Meaning, like, if you have cut back on spending money eating out after so long of doing this thing, you maybe want to treat yourself to something after eat, you know. And everything is so quick these days that I be like, sometimes, even me, I be like, hey, I'm finna go get me something to eat right quick. But I've learned to use apps, you know what I'm saying? So I use apps to get a little discount here and there. But it is always good to meal prep um where you are spending your money, but everything is through the roof no matter what you do. Like, but eating at home still works out a lot better. That's just me being real with you all. So once we have these things in place, we want to always keep remembering that everything has a purpose, everything has a place, everything is moving. Everything is moving. We just have to be wise on how we spend our time. That's why I like jumping on this YouTube channel. Nobody knows, what a person has going on. And learn to keep certain things to yourself. You know what I mean? Everybody does not have to know your financial situation. Nobody has to know that. But once you are setting things up in place in order for you to move a certain way, that is the only way to be. So we have to learn to keep certain information private because it's nobody's business. Like, you know, but at the same time, we are being very strategic. We are watching what we're spending, and we are always going to have a plan before that plan is that budget. We are always going to have a plan before we just go out here making impulse decisions. Because a lot of times, like when you learn to live on the things that you truly need, and the best things in life are free. Free. Because once we keep buying and consuming these things, like we realize, like, hey, that's not important. That don't even matter. That does not matter to me at all. The best things in life are free. I always remember that. I am coming up on 12 minutes into this live stream. And, once we have these things going, remember to always do breath work to keep a balance. Learn to find a balance. So that's why I like to still invest no matter my financial situation because I've learned about investing. So I don't want to delay my time into the market. I can just cut back on what I am putting into the stock market. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody has to keep a balance. Everybody has to keep a balance. Do what works for you. Do what works for you. All right. And always remember, like, if you keep going forward, you're going to be like, man, it wasn't even the destination. It was always the journey. Always the journey. So, with that being said, air credit up is not sounding out. Oh, before I go, if you are disciplined and responsible enough to use credit cards, I will have a link in the description down below in order to help you guys get started on some credit funding. That's considered bad debt too. But if you know how to use it and you know what you are doing, use your credit cards. But with that being said, Air Credit Up is signing out. You all have a lovely, amazing Tuesday. Bye.